Welcome back to Mystic Reads. We are a channel dedicated to the Marvel game, Marvel Mystic Mayhem. Such a fun game. We've been lucky enough to jump in and play around with the roster now for a full day of testing and wanted to give you this roster breakdown. We are going to tackle each class individually, and I want you to think of these classes in your typical RPG archetypes. So first we're going to have our range DPS, damage dealers who do damage from far away. And Mystic Mayhem calls these striker heroes. Personally, I would love to show you the game. However, the game does not organize the heroes very well in order to progress through them one at a time in the class. I would have to go back and forth over and over, and nobody has time for that. So instead, I put together a little slideshow so that I have time to talk through these. And look forward to our next videos where I will be doing deeper breakdowns of each character, their kit, their synergies, their bonds, their gear, etc. For today, let's just go over the roster. So first up in the striker category, we have Iron Man. If you are lucky enough, you can pull Iron Man from the pull system, the gacha mechanic of the game. There is a pity system in place. After 80 calls, Iron Man is currently the featured hero. You can get him guaranteed. And I can tell you in one day of free to play, I have gotten that number up to 30. So it won't take much time at all to get you a guaranteed Iron Man. You can still, of course, pull him through the gacha system that's in the game, which this game calls the Dreamweaver system. And so you're going to see that delineated on a few different heroes as we go through this. After Iron Man, still in the striker class, we have Scarlet Witch. This is our second striker. Scarlet Witch is super fun to play with. You're going to get to play with her early in the game, and then the game is going to snatch her away, except for the low price of, I think, $20 to unlock her. You can spend that money if you'd like to. Personally, I'm going to wait and try to pull her through the gacha system. Then we have Storm. Storm is actually given to you for free just by completing daily tasks for the first 7 days. And once you collect enough of these X marks from that task, you will get Storm for free. Misty Knight is a striker that is given to you by the game very early on, and she is a solid member of your team. Next up, we have Lady Bullseye, who the game also gives you for free as part of the campaign storyline, and she is in my top 3. Next, we have Thread. Don't really know much about Thread, haven't pulled Thread yet, somehow related to Nightmare in some way, shape, or form. So that was it for the Striker class. Now we're going to move on to the Fighter class. Again, we're talking damage dealers, but instead of being far away to do their damage, these heroes get up close in your face. The first fighter that we'll look at is Thor. I just pulled Thor from the Dreamweaver system last night, and I cannot wait to dive into his kit. After that, we have Psylocke. Psylocke is given to you, pretty sure by the game. It might have been a pull that I did. She is a very common character. She comes up quite often in the pulls to where I already have duplicates of her. However, no complaints. Very strong character, very good to use throughout the game. Echo is given to you by completing a few missions. You can get those done in probably less than an hour, and then you are given Echo for free. You are also given Doppelganger for free as a way to explain some of the core mechanics of the game. For instance, with Doppelganger being able to pass over walls and obstructions. I was lucky enough to pull Mr. Negative in some of my first early pulls, and I'm super excited to do a breakdown of his kit. Next up, we have 2 fighters that are given to you for free throughout the campaign. You can, of course, pull them, and there is no detriment to pulling a character early that the game gives you, because duplicates are then used to empower that character and empower their abilities. And we'll look more on that when we do the breakdown. Moon Knight is also given to you by the game, by completing Chapter 2 at a specific star rating, you will get Moon Knight for free. You can complete Chapter 2 with, I think, 30 stars, so getting 20 of the 30 stars is not that tall of a task. You don't have to be perfect to get Moon Knight or Black Knight. So that is the damage dealing part of the roster. Now we're going to go into the two classes that are there to help support and protect those damage dealers. First up is your typical tank class, which Mystic Mayhem calls Defender. These are heroes with large health pools. Juggernaut I have not unlocked yet, but you can see he's the big bad who's going to stand in front of all that damage and take it for your damage dealers. Armor is by far my top defender that I have played with so far in this game. Super fun. I was lucky enough to get her early. I have a feeling she's given to you by the game, but my memory is not to be trusted. I can tell you that Hulk is the very first hero that you receive in the game, and he is a very solid defender. One of the things that Mystic Mayhem allows you to do is to reset any resources that you have put into one character, so in my case, the Hulk, and then take those resources and apply them to a different character, in my case, armor. So as soon as I got a defender that I felt was better than the Hulk, I was able to transition him out. He's still on my roster, he's just not in any of my teams currently. Angela is an amazing defender with AoE damage that the game is going to let you play with, just a taste, and similar to Scarlet Witch, they're going to hit you with a bundle. I'm not buying the bundle, I'm going free to play as long as possible, and so that means I'm going to be trying my luck at pulling Angela from the Dreamweaver system. Sentry is an amazing defender, more of a damage dealer and less of a tank. And I honestly was surprised to see Sentry when he was announced as being part of Mystic Mayhem, to see him in this defender role. However, I will say, without any spoilers, that his mechanic fits and it makes sense. And yes, we will be seeing the Void. Now, Sentry is one of the featured heroes alongside of Iron Man and Peter. And what that means is that when you're pulling from that featured banner, you have a higher chance of getting Iron Man, Defender, and, I'll go ahead and spoil it now, Falcon. I was lucky enough to get Sentry while pulling for Iron Man. So now we move on to our fourth and final class, the one with the most amount of heroes, the Controller class. Don't call them a healer. Sure, almost every single one of them has some sort of healing capability, but they are really there to buff, debuff, support the team, and also detriment the enemy team. First up in the Controller class, we have Spider-Man. He is pulled through the Dreamweaver system. I have currently yet to obtain him. Same for Doctor Strange. Pulled through the Dreamweaver system. I kind of expected Doctor Strange to be given to you for free, since the Sanctum is a big part of this game and where you're going to be spending a lot of time on your home screen. However, he has yet to be given to me in the campaign. So it looks like I'm going to be trying my luck to pull Doctor Strange from the Dreamweaver system. I have heard that he is very powerful. The controller I am most excited to pull, and I believe this is actually your Day 2 login reward, is Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I'm so excited to see, first off, how they fit on the screen, how they work as a team, and just what their abilities are. Emma Frost, my number one hero in this entire game. Does it have anything to do with the rumors of Lady Gaga playing her in the MCU? Possibly. And I was able to pull her, luckily, through the Dreamweaver system. And she immediately replaced this next controller, Sleepwalker, which is given to you very early, part of your starting set of characters by the game. Very solid controller, but he's no Emma Frost. Dream Queen is another controller who was pulled through the Dreamweaver system. She is also related to Nightmares. Here specifically, the game is telling us that she is the daughter of Nightmare. I don't think Thread is a child of Nightmare, maybe some sort of creation of Nightmare. We're going to find out as we go through and learn more. Our next controller is Man Thing. Super excited to see what his kit is and how he controls the battlefield. I'm going to guess with fire. And our final controller is part of that three featured hero banner that is running right now with Iron Man and Sentry. Haven't looked at his kit yet. The game does allow you to try out those three characters before you start pulling, which is really nice. And so that covers the entire roster. The next couple of videos that we're going to put out over this launch week are the ability breakdown videos and a new system in this game called bonds, which you can kind of think of as like team ups from Marvel Rivals, where you're going to get special synergies by playing, let's say, two out of the four X-Men on the same team, or possibly three out of the four X-Men on the same team. There are bonds like the Avengers that have 8 heroes in them. But more on that in upcoming videos. So thank you for joining us today as we did this quick breakdown of the Marvel Mystic Mayhem roster. I hope that this is helpful and gives you an idea of how wide but also how small the roster is. To other games like Marvel Rivals, Marvel Strike Force, and Marvel Snap, this roster is very small at game launch, and that is super exciting because it means we have room to grow and we don't have to worry about getting caught up. I would say after maybe a few weeks of polls, you probably will be able to 100% the roster. And I have a feeling that this upcoming Fantastic Four movie, in the absence of any Fantastic Four characters from this game, might have a little bit something to do with that. Until next time, thank you for joining us here at Mystic Reads, and we can't wait to bring you more Marvel Mystic Mayhem content over the coming weeks.